Consistent effort over a long period of time leads to success. In this video, we're going to be learning about how to succeed in any path in life. What is success? For one person is completely different to somebody else's idea of success. But along the way, the techniques or the steps are very similar. And one thing that we know for sure is that we have to keep learning along the way, evolving. But many times, we may struggle just with getting started. Also, it can become tedious, it can become boring as well. So in this video, we're going to be giving you guys 10 tips on how to become more successful on the path that you are pursuing in your life. Tip number 1, Saarkutavlee. This means that we have to have love for what we are looking to pursue in our lives. Have a passion for it. If you don't have that, it's going to be very difficult. So find something that you enjoy and be the best at it. Be the greatest at that thing that you want to follow in your life. But sometimes you also find that we may enjoy something, but the techniques on how to acquire that knowledge or pursue that path will be quite boring. For example, if we're studying, we might find it difficult to read books. It may be better just to watch tutorials online. Just to give you guys one example, let's say we want to learn more about spirituality or about the path of Sikh, but we find it difficult to read books. What we can do is just go onto YouTube. If you didn't know this already, we have over 2,000 videos on our YouTube channel about Sikh. And you can just look through them and find what interests you the most. And if there's something there that you cannot find, then drop us a message in the comment section and let us know what you guys want to learn about. And also don't forget to subscribe and like this video as well if you like this new content that we're bringing to you guys. Point number 2, Sudbudh. This means to have a clean mind. What does that mean? It means to have a clear mind. A clear mind means that we can focus and we have no distractions. Let's say we're angry with somebody, one of our siblings, maybe one of our colleagues. Then all that time when we're sitting there, we should be working, our mind is not focused on that work, our ideas are not flowing because we're so annoyed with that person. But Sukhdeep Singh, how do you get a clear mind? That's a great question, and that links to point number 3, which is Bhagat. Bhagat here means meditation or mindfulness. So mindfulness here means that we got to have a clear mind. In order to gain that clear mind, we have to do meditation, remove all the anxiety that we have inside us, and then attack the day with 100% effort. One extra tip for you guys is that what many Sikhs do as well when they wake up in the morning is that they do an ardas. This means a humble plea, a prayer to the divine, to the one, asking for their blessing before they start the day. And I promise you that will go a long way. So make sure you guys try that as well and let us know how you get on with that tip. Tip number 4, Udam. Udam here means don't be lazy. Give complete effort to whatever you're doing so you can see how these ideas are flowing from one to the other to the other. Changi alak kare, buri hoi said. Gurbani here says to us that when it comes to doing good actions, we're very lazy. But when it comes to doing bad things like procrastinating and just sitting on YouTube all day, excluding this video, we can spend so much time doing that and scrolling. This means we need to build good habits. And one way that we can do that is to plan our day out. Make a list of everything that we need to do, and then we're more likely to actually complete that list as well. That will mean that we have less time to procrastinate because we know what we need to do for that day and we'll get it done. And if we achieve everything on that list on that day and the next day and the day after, we're building up some very good momentum here, and then we can start to achieve even bigger and greater things every single day. So again, make an effort, don't be lazy. And this brings us on to point number 5, which is Rogna Dehe. Rog means disease and Dehe means body, but also can mean the mind as well. If we're not feeling well, then how are we going to do any work? Which means how we're going to succeed. So that means that we have to live a healthy lifestyle as well. Got to be healthy physically and spiritually and mentally. So the first thing that we could do is make sure that we have good hygiene. Wash our hands, wash our body. That's the first thing, keeping good hygiene. But the second thing is fueling our body with the right energy as well. Let's stop eating the foods that don't agree with this body, but eating foods that are nutritious. We're not going to turn this into a basis of nutrition video now, but the point is that foods like, our fruits and vegetables, which you all know about, but we rather not eat, we need to start eating more of to fuel our body. And the kinds of foods that we need to eat, nuts, grains, these kind of things. we look at dal, like we say, lentils is such a typical Indian dish, but it's actually very nutritious and very good for us to have as well. And the last few points is exercise and rest. Exercise is very important just to keep the blood flowing, to keep the immune system up. And the last thing is rest. We have to make sure we're getting enough rest as well in order to repair, because we're working so hard that day, working to achieve our goal, but we also need time to let our body relax. And now the next one is good, which means a guru, a teacher, a mentor. This is very important to be successful in life. We need somebody who has walked that path that we want to walk. Whatever we want to succeed in, if we can find somebody who's already succeeded in that, that's going to go a long way in helping us. If we look at all those people that we look up to, that we see as our mentor, they've actually had somebody above them who's taught them everything. And what's important is finding somebody who has no faults, that when we ask them a question, they're able to take away all our doubts, not leave us more confused, but take away all that confusion. But just one important tip as well is that we could find somebody who's willing to teach us, who is capable of teaching us, but are we willing to learn? Are we capable of learning from that person? So it means to put our ego to one side, put everything that we know to one side, and take upon their sikha, their teachings, because they've succeeded. And if we follow their path, then we're highly likely to succeed as well in whatever we're trying to pursue in our lives. Tip number 7, and this is pustak. Pustak means book. We have to use that book and make sure that we make our notes. Notes are very important because it improves our listening skills, and it also means that we have to spend more time focusing on what is being said. And yes, you can use a laptop if you don't want to write it down. If you don't know how to write anymore, then you can type everything out. But the main point here is that we have a point of reference, that let's say we forget something, because our memory span is quite short. If we ask ourselves, what did I learn last week? We might already forget. But if we have it all written down, then we can look back at it, and also it can be used to help somebody else later on in their lives. Now we have point number 8, which is Bhumi Subag, which means somewhere nice and clean, quiet and beautiful, where we can sit and we can work and we can be inspired. Because if all our work is organized, then we're going to be more organized on how to get to that point of success. But also, having fresh air is very important as well. So make sure you open the windows, because the more oxygen we can get into our body, the more energy we're going to have. Just think about it like this. Those days when you wake up in the morning and it's nice and sunny, and you open your curtains and you open the window and you feel like you have so much energy as you're going to attack the day. We want to emulate that every single day. That every single day we have this habit where we wake up in the morning and we let the fresh air in, let the sunlight in, and when we're working, be inspired by the environment that is around us. If you look at our 10th Guru, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj Ji, when they would write Gurbani, they would sit at the most beautiful spots that you can find, where there's flowing water, where there's a river. So don't be afraid to go outside, find a different environment where you feel like your creative juices are going to flow at that time. Point number 9 is Pritam. And I like this one, right? Because it means those beloved people who are going to help you on your path to success. Because maybe they walk in the same path as you. They could be ahead of you. By hanging around with those people, they're going to fill in our gaps. They're going to take away any confusion that we have, and they're going to inspire us as well and give us great tips. We can bounce ideas off each other as well. Or it could even be that you're ahead of them, and now you're going to be supporting them as well. And if they ask you a question and you don't remember the answer to it, what can you do? You can look at your notes. If you write things down, then it won't only help us, but it'll help the people around us, because then we can answer their questions, because we already have the answer. We might not remember at the time, but we've written it down somewhere. So what's really interesting is that if we try to teach other people what we have learned, it also solidifies that knowledge in our head. And now we come to tip number 10, the last tip, which is Avara Sahai, which basically means anything else that can help us on this path as well. One example that we can think of is, let's say that we're looking to study something and we have to put a lot of time and effort into that. If we can have support from our family and friends, then that is great. The last thing that we need is to be doing something and the people that are closest to us telling us we shouldn't be doing it or not supporting us. If they can help us financially, whether that's washing our pandit, washing our dishes, it could be anything, helping making the food. Just to add to that point as well, Gurbani says to us, Jo Brahmande, Soi Pinde, Jo Khoje, So Pave. And what that means is that everything that we're looking for in this world, all that success we're striving for, Jo Brahmande, in this whole creation, Soi Pinde, it is inside you. Jo Khoje, So Pave. If you search for it, you will find it. Meaning that let's not always be too external. When we look for other sahay, other support, that support is inside you. That this is very important, that along the way, let's always check ourselves. See how we're doing mentally, physically. These things are very important because we have to look at longevity. Consistent effort over a long period of time leads to success. And that is a wrap. Just to give a quick recap, we had 10 points for you guys. The first tip was to have love and passion for the topic or that path that you want to succeed in. And number 2 was a clear mind is very important, which we gained through point number 3, which is to be more mindful, to remove all that anxiety, all that negative energy, and be much more positive, which comes into point number 4, which is udam, effort. Don't be lazy. Try our best in life, and that starts in the morning, which comes to point number 5. Wake up in the morning, have a bath, and then attack the day. Point number 6, we need to have a good mentor, somebody that we can look up to who's walked that same path of success. Point number 7, pustak, which means to make notes. Writing things down is very important in order to instill that in our mind, and we're more likely to do it if we write it down as well. Point number 8, Bhumi Subaga, which means a beautiful place where we can sit and we can gain inspiration from the environment around us. Point number 9 is Pritam, having those people around us who are going to support us, help us reach our goals and succeed and inspire us. And finally, point number 10, Avada Sahai. That means having support in any other way that we feel is going to help us gain that success that we're looking for, whether that's spiritually or in our worldly endeavors. These 10 tips will help us a lot. So please let us know how you found this video. Leave us a message in the comment section letting us know how this goes, how these tips work out in your life, and if there's something that we've missed that you feel is very crucial when it comes to succeeding in life, what has helped you guys to be successful, then please let us know again in the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and make sure you guys subscribe as well. So again, please forgive all the mistakes that we made. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.